We begin this story at a moment of uneasy stillness, when the truth is already known by the wrong people and silence feels heavier than any lie. We know that Alexis now understands Willow's crime after hearing what Kai and Trina revealed. The facts are clear to her. The pieces line up too perfectly to ignore. Yet what strikes us most is not the revelation itself, but Alexis's response. She chooses silence. Not because she doubts the truth, but because speaking it threatens everything she has been working toward. We sense that Alexis is closer than ever to achieving her goal, and that goal is deeply personal. Her freedom to see her granddaughter scout is not just a legal matter to her. It is emotional survival. So when Kai and Trina come to her, burning with urgency and a sense of moral duty, Alexis listens, absorbs, and then deliberately decides to say nothing. We feel the tension in that choice because it pits justice against family, truth against love, and law against desperation. As the story unfolds, we recall what fans of General Hospital have already seen. Kai and Trina overhear Willow's phone ringtone, a small but critical detail that confirms their suspicions. It is not dramatic on the surface, just a sound, but to them it is unmistakable proof. That ringtone places Willow exactly where she denied being. It ties her to the crime in a way that cannot be easily explained away. Instead of rushing to the police, Kai and Trina hesitate. They choose a different path. They go to Alexis. This decision alone tells us how complicated the situation has become. They believe Alexis, as a lawyer and as someone who understands the system, will know what to do. They trust her judgment more than the cold machinery of law enforcement. Possibly, they also fear what will happen if they go straight to the police without fully understanding the consequences. We understand why Kai and Trina avoid the police for now. There are risks. Evidence could be twisted. The wrong person could be punished. And most importantly, Michael's fate hangs in the balance. Fans already know that turning to the police too soon could destroy any chance of saving him. Kai and Trina are not trying to protect Willow. They're trying to protect the truth in a way that does not cause irreversible damage. They want to believe that Alexis will help them do that. But Alexis is operating under her own motivations, and those motivations are not aligned with theirs. Alexis has her reasons for covering up the truth, and we can see how carefully she justifies them to herself. She tells herself this is temporary. She tells herself that staying silent now does not mean the truth will never come out. But we also sense that her silence is strategic. She is almost at the finish line. If she disrupts the case now, everything could collapse. The court could view her as complicit. Her credibility could be destroyed. And worst of all, she could lose access to Scout. For Alexis, Scout represents innocence, continuity, and redemption. The idea of losing her again is unbearable. So Alexis calculates. She listens to Kai and Trina, nods, and quietly decides that their truth must wait. Yet silence does not mean safety. Kai, Trina, and Alexis may believe that keeping quiet will buy them time, but crimes have a way of resurfacing. We start to suspect that their private conversation may not be as private as they think. The possibility that someone overheard them changes everything. We feel that familiar General Hospital tension creeping in, the sense that walls have ears and secrets never stay buried for long. Hypothetically, if someone did overhear this conversation, that person could become the catalyst that blows the entire case open. We begin to consider who that person could be. The names that come to mind are not random. Christina, Molly, and even Scout each have powerful reasons to act if they know the truth. None of them are passive observers in this story. Each carries emotional weight and moral stakes that could drive them to speak out, even if doing so destroys relationships. We imagine Christina first. If Christina overheard Kai, Trina, and Alexis discussing Willow's crime, the impact on her would be immediate and explosive. Christina is fiercely loyal to her family, especially to her brother Michael. Knowing that Michael is suffering for a crime he did not commit would be unbearable. Likely, Christina would feel that silence is no longer an option. She would see speaking out not as betrayal, but as necessity. In our minds, we can already picture Christina standing in court, her voice steady but emotional, revealing the truth at the precise moment it matters most. Her goal would be clear: save Michael, expose Willow, restore balance. But Christina is not reckless. She would understand the danger of revealing how she learned the truth. She would have to protect Kai, Trina, and Alexis from accusations of conspiracy or obstruction of justice. That means Christina would need to construct a narrative that explains her testimony without exposing the eavesdropping. Possibly she could claim she discovered evidence independently, or she could frame it as a realization sparked by unrelated information. Whatever the method, Christina would be walking a tightrope between honesty and strategy. The risk would be enormous, but for Michael, she would take it. Then we consider Molly. Molly's motivations are different, but no less compelling. Molly believes deeply in justice and the integrity of the legal system. If she overheard the truth about Willow, it would haunt her. She would not be able to justify staying silent, not even for family. For Molly, the idea that Willow could escape punishment while an innocent person suffers would violate everything she stands for. Likely, Molly would come forward because she believes the law must be respected, even when it hurts. Her testimony would be calm, precise, and devastating. She would not dramatize the truth. She would simply state it, trusting the court to do the rest. And then there is Scout. The idea that Scout could be the one to expose the truth is perhaps the most emotionally charged possibility of all. Scout is a child, but she is not unaware. She understands more than the adults around her realize. At this point in the story, Scout may have accepted Willow as her stepmother. She may even feel close to her. That makes the betrayal even sharper. If Scout were to learn that Willow once aimed a weapon at her father, that trust would shatter instantly. No amount of affection could erase that fear. We imagine Scout struggling with the knowledge. She would be torn between the woman she has come to know and the truth of what that woman has done. But ultimately, Scout's loyalty would lie with her father. The thought that Willow could hurt Drew again would be terrifying. The fact that Willow and Drew are living together would only heighten Scout's anxiety. Scout might decide that speaking out is the only way to keep her father safe. Her revelation would not come from strategy or ideology, but from fear and love. And that makes it all the more powerful. As we move through these possibilities, we remind ourselves that they are still speculation. We do not yet know who, if anyone, overheard the conversation between Kai, Trina, and Alexis. We do not know when or how the truth will come out. But we are certain of one thing. Silence cannot hold forever. The longer the truth is suppressed, the more explosive its release will be. We feel the story building toward a moment of reckoning. Alexis's choice to stay silent may protect her in the short term, but it also places her in an increasingly fragile position. If the truth comes out through someone else, her silence could be interpreted as complicity. Kai and Trina, despite their good intentions, could be accused of covering up a crime. The consequences would ripple outward, affecting everyone connected to them. In the end, we are left waiting, Waiting to see who will break the silence. Waiting to see whether justice will come through careful planning or sudden revelation. Waiting to see whether Alexis's gamble will pay off or cost her everything. This story reminds us why General Hospital remains compelling. It is not just about crimes and courtrooms. It is about people making impossible choices under unbearable pressure. It is about love colliding with truth. And it is about the certainty that no matter how carefully secrets are hidden, they always find a way to surface.